Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's episode, another live streaming episode where I just stream live and just say what's on my mind, talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Well, today's episode we're going to be talking about, is Bitcoin set to hit $6,500 before it takes off to the $16,000 prediction in October or the $90,000 prediction in May? Is it set to drop even lower? We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at why people are going crazy for Bitcoin in Hong Kong. We'll take a look at why Coinbase Pro is just bending us over and ramming us from behind. We'll take a look at even some more stuff like Bitcoin 51% attacks, the latest malware, and why Andreas Antonopoulos thinks that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. So we'll get into all that stuff. Before we do, guys, this video brought to you by Monarch and the Monarch wallet. Go check it out, download it from the App Store. You can get it there. It holds Bitcoin, 3,000 other cryptocurrencies, earn up to 10% interest on your cryptos. Super secure, and you can swap cryptos, and they have Monarch Pay and all that fun stuff. So definitely go check that out. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, where it's at right now. Well, I've been following Bitcoin. When it dropped most recently from 10,000 to where it is right now at 8,000, it broke through this yellow line, the 21 weekly moving average. That's not a good sign. Definitely not. And it hasn't really bounced back. But it's staying in this little range here, this little support range right here. And it's been staying there for a little bit over a week. Now, while it's been doing that, if we take a look down here to the, I guess that would be this side of my head, you could see that the MACD is about to cross to the upside. So does that mean that Bitcoin price is going to take off? Because I'll say a lot of YouTubers right now are saying that Bitcoin price is going to take off. Now, may it take off? Yes, it may. But I do want to take a look at one thing real fast. If we take a look at the weekly, this weekly MACD gives us a better idea as to where the price is going. Now, generally, if we need to find the tangent to the line. So think back to mathematics in school. Oh, it hurts so bad. But if you think back to mathematics in the line, and you take a look to where the MACD, the blue line, has a tangent, right here, that was kind of a top. And then right down here, that was kind of a bottom until we found that bottom right there, that tangent right there. And then the tangent up here, right there, boom, that was a top also, 14,000. So now we find the bottom tangent. It doesn't look like this blue line has found a bottom tangent yet. Doesn't mean the price isn't going to take off, but I'm just saying, don't have a bottom tangent there. Now, there's a whole bunch more of this episode, so don't get your whole pants in a bundle just yet, okay? So anyways, according to MACD, this is something that I trade on. I trade on the daily MACD every day. It's a consistent indicator that over 2 years, you can 69x your money if you start using it. And this isn't guaranteed, this isn't financial advice, but over 2 years, if you take $15,000, trade the MACD on the daily, you can have $1 million after 2 years. Yeah, simple as that. Well, anyways, so that's my thoughts on what's going on with the Bitcoin price. But, you obviously, I'm not an expert. You didn't come here to think what I think. Let's take a look at some other people. So this guy, Trading Shot on TradingView, he thinks that Bitcoin has entered the parabolic buy zone at $6,500 at the bottom. That's the same question I'm asking in the interview. So he takes a look at these Ichimoku squeezes. So basically, if we take a look, this is back in 2014, we had the peak, and then there's a little Ichimoku squeeze, price drops down. And then we have another Ichimoku squeeze right here in this green line, okay, price shoots up. So then back in October, we had an Ichimoku squeeze, price dropped down. Okay, now we have another Ichimoku squeeze, and potentially price could break up from there, potentially. So that's what he says. He also has this parabolic buy zone channel, which we just dipped back into. So this is the parabolic buy zone, and there's actually some people, in the past couple of weeks, there's been over $50 million of Tether moved to potentially buy the dip, maybe. So there's that, but also he goes on further. Okay, so he says this 200 weekly moving average is very good to find a bottom. But what I used for a thumbnail is this thing right here for talking about a bottom. Okay, hopefully you can see that. My head's not in the way. If we take a look, the 2011 bottom, okay, that was $2. Now, after it ran up, there was a second dip that hit the bottom times 2, which is 2 times 2. You guys can do this one. 4, exactly. Good. I'm going to be a teacher one day, hopefully. 2 times 2 is 5. And then the 2015 bottom, which was $165, multiply that by 2, $330 was the bottom times 2, which it dipped back down to, as you can see here. Now the 2018 bottom was $31.50, multiply that by 2, $6,300 is the bottom times 2, so potentially where the price will find the bottom times 2, potentially. That's what could happen. He also has some other things on there. So definitely check it out. It's an interesting little article you could go read there. So based on that, you would think, yeah, potentially price could go back down to $6,500 before it takes off because there's some stuff coming up. But, you know, a lot of people right now saying that Bitcoin's going to be awesome. And I hate these things where they always ask about cookies. Why couldn't you just click one thing that says yes to cookies everywhere? Because you don't have a choice. It's either you accept cookies or you don't use a website. Anyways, Bloomberg says Bitcoin key indicator flips bullish, flashes first buy signal since December. So if they take a look at this is the GTI Global Strength Indicator. Now, back in November of 2018, it was saying, hey, that was a buy indicator because it was this blue line here, okay? So if you would have bought back then, Bitcoin was less than $4,000, then you ride it up to where it caps out on this red, and then you sell there, and then look, we're starting to get buy indicators again. So potentially could be buy indicators based on that. Also, $17 million of Tether moved to Binance. Is there a pump incoming? And this is after someone just moved $49 million of Bitcoin 4 days ago. So over $50 million of Bitcoin moved potentially to buy the dip. Now there's other stuff that's saying people are going crazy for Bitcoin right now, like Hong Kong ATMs running out of money as Bitcoin trading volume balloons. Yeah, so people in Hong Kong are scared. They've been queuing up to withdraw their funds in the fear the Chinese government may start monitoring digital payments and freezing assets. So recently, local Bitcoin's volume has recently rose to the highest level ever in Hong Kong as people want to actually own their money instead of you know, having this government putting our trust in the government. Let's actually hold our money ourselves. So all these things are saying, hey, you know, Bitcoin is pretty good, could potentially go up. And now also, that's not all. This 4chan Anonymous, I went over this yesterday, but he's saying that by October of 2019, $16,000 Bitcoin. Also, German bank predicts $90,000 after the next halving. So that's May 2020, $90,000. But potentially we may need to go down to $6,500 first. I don't know. What I'm doing, just trading in the MACD because it works well. Doesn't work every time, but it works very well. Now, because everybody loves Bitcoin, because 40% of Binance's Coinbase got kicked off of Binance.com, now they have to use Binance.us if they even signed up for it. Coinbase, which now has a much larger user base than it did before, a lot more people probably using Coinbase Pro than previously when you could use Binance, well, they decided to surge their fees 233% for low volume users, you know? Thumbs up, Coinbase. Oh wait, that's not my thumb. Yeah, what the hell, Coinbase? So basically, they're making the maker and taker fees 0.5% for anyone in these low volume, $0 to $10,000. Meanwhile, guys who are trading retarded amounts, like $1 billion plus, or even, I mean, it starts really at 50 to 100 million. So these guys who have the money to pay the fees aren't really paying fees. Again, just kind of like how taxes work in the US. They fuck the little guy, and then they cut fees for the big guys. Whatever. Fuck you, Coinbase. So, Litecoin creator agrees with Craig Maxwell to take Bitcoin's susceptibility to 51% attack. So basically, Greg Maxwell, he says that Bitcoin is susceptible to 51% attack. There was talk recently about redoing the code to set a limit to the maximum hash rate a miner could have to prevent 51% attacks. But he says, you know, you can't have something decentralized without having it susceptible to a 51% attack. Now, if somebody were to 51% attack Bitcoin, it would be a pricey attack. I mean, they would obviously just be trying to destroy the system because with a 51% attack, you actually spend more money attacking it than you would actually make from Bitcoin itself. But it leaves you to think, you know, we need these 51% attacks, even though it can happen, very unlikely. Even though it can happen, it's still, I don't know what I'm saying there. But there's another thing down here where somebody was saying, well, you know, with China controlling 70% of the Bitcoin hash rate, isn't that somewhat centralized? And I say no, because it's not one person in China. And also, if China decides to shut down electricity to miners, guess what? They'll move somewhere else. They're not going to stay in China. So that's my thoughts on that. Now, careful for all of you out there, especially people with PCs, okay? Linux and Unix and Macs are not as susceptible to this stuff, but Bitcoin stealing malware masquerades as other programs. So there's a new thing called Casbanero is masquerading as other other programs, particularly Google Drive, Spotify, and WhatsApp. So you get emailed saying something about updating your Google Drive, Spotify, or WhatsApp, and then you click the link in the email, and it takes you to a malicious site, which then tracks all of your data, where you're going, what you're doing, and will steal your money. So if you get emails from that stuff, delete those emails. Obviously, just log in on the normal website where you normally log in. Last thing to touch on today, Andreas talking about why Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. I didn't watch all of this. It is something where I looked at the comments on it, and some people like it because he's saying that, hey, Bitcoin's been around the longest, has the most development, all this stuff. Other people think he doesn't really have any new developments there. He's just saying it's the best because it's been around the longest. But something interesting that you may want to watch, because he does always get me thinking. I think he has a couple of the best books on Bitcoin. And yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So that's the episode for today. Could Bitcoin price go down? Maybe. What am I doing? I'm just watching the daily MACD, because when that crosses right there, that's when I buy. And then when it crosses again, that's when I sell. And that 69x is your money over 2 years. So thanks for watching today, guys. Make sure to check out Monarch Pay, the world's first decentralized recurring payments, and also the Monarch Wallet. Simple as that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. And peace, 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 peace.